Snow. We got a little bit more. And we're supposed to get even more tonight. Another foot, supposedly, or close to a foot, depending on where you are around here. I have an idea I want to show you guys. I think it's very important when it comes to working with horses. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to borrow her again for this, as she is the most sensitive and tends to react a little more, I don't know if I would call it naturally, but definitely a little more horse-like compared to some of the domesticated horses that are a lot more used to all kinds of stuff out there. And the concept that I want to talk about is called contact points. Now, I didn't make this up. I didn't come up with it. I didn't think of it. I didn't do anything other than read it and try to understand it. And the person who did come up with it, in case you want to read it, in case you want to read about it, is a guy named Andrew McLean. And he's got a fantastic book that I can't make it all the way through because it's so in-depth, but it's about equitation science. He now works with elephants, which is actually really interesting. Actually, I haven't really followed him in a while, but he does do horse stuff still. But he talks about contact points and the connection for a horse when we touch them to how they think or maybe feel. And this is really, really important. And I'll tell you a quick story before we get into what it is. I mean, the very basics of it is like, this is one contact point. You see? We'll try again. This is one contact point. So even though you just watched me rub her face and touch her, that contact point and the type of contact point matters. That's one contact point. Here's another. Here's another, and this is more. Here's probably two contact points, no trouble. Here's a contact point, right? And the story that I want to tell, can you please calm down because you're freaking out over nothing? Settle down. Come here, come. Good girl, calm down. You're not in trouble. No, you're not in trouble. Come here. So I need to talk to her just briefly. Come here. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, so she's back to normal. Now, the story I want to tell is actually quite a common one from my understanding. I've only sort of been called out to a few in these regard, but there was a lady who had gotten herself a rescue. Somebody that probably couldn't manage the horse at the time and stuff like that. And she says, well, we can't saddle the thing. Can you come out and take a look at what's going on? And I said, sure, no problem. I can definitely come out. And I did. And we get there, and I quickly discover exactly what you just finished watching. A horse that can't handle contact points. And the number of contact points matters as well. Not just how you contact or where you contact, but the number of them. So what I want to demonstrate to you is not only that one contact point, but how I can have her be very comfortable with a contact point or two, and maybe three, and maybe four. But as each contact point, as we go up in number of contact points, the horse's reaction and their calmness goes down, their worry goes up. And you can see here I have one contact point, and she draws, you see. So I can acclimate her to that, no problem. Now I need to put the camera somewhere while we do this, and you guys can see our whole bodies. So I'm going to put you on the fence. There. Okay, so, sorry, can you move over a little? Okay, so that was two contact points, just over a little. That's good. I hope you make it back. Okay, let's move the camera. See, horse training or horse videos are actually kind of hard because you can't you know, you can't control the horse and you can't control what's going to happen, which in a way kind of makes it, here she comes, hello, okay, which makes this a very organic sort of thing. So I'm going to touch with one contact point. Okay, hello, nice draw, thank you very much. So that's one, and here's two. Okay, so I'm going to touch again with another up here, so that's two. She's getting a little worried. I'm not holding tight. I'm going to go with her a little. That's two. Okay. Now I'm going to introduce a third. That's going to be my third contact point, my body. Okay, so very worried. No blinking. Ears are on me. Stiff. So I'm going to come off. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to ask her to stay a little. Can you please stay a little? Two contact points. 1, 2, 3. No blinking again. There, she blinked. She's having a think about this. Now watch my fourth contact point. I'm gonna let her go. I'm not gonna hold her. But that is a fourth contact point. And the situation that happened, it was quite a while ago, it was years ago when this happened, but as I would touch this horse, one spot he would get a little worried, two spots he would get a little bit more worried, three it lost it, and the third one was that I put my hip on its side while holding, and the horse just jumped away. This is gone. And it was quite alarming for everybody, and I said, well, if you want to put a saddle on, or if you want to put a rope on, or if you want to be able to touch them, if you want to put a blanket on and stuff like that, it's very important to get them used to lots of contact points, to where when you come up and you touch and you come in and you say, I'm going to hug you, I'm going to touch you, I'm going to rub you, I'm going to come up and I'm going to touch with a leg here. Good girl. And we can get them used to that. We can rub and we can reassure and we can come up and we can just touch a little. She wants to leave. I'm going to ask her to stay a little bit. I'll try again. Touch and down. And the way we can push them past this, the way we can reassure them and say it's okay, is to do it just a little and try your best to get out before the trouble starts. If you stop doing what you're doing before they leave, their mind might be thinking, I better leave, but you're already out. So we can improve the amount and the type of contact points that a horse can handle, which in turn will make them more comfortable. It will make them safer, easier to saddle, easier to manage, easier to groom. Think about just trimming a horse. There's a lot of contact points when trimming a horse. We don't really think about that. We just think pick up the foot. But when we touch them on their leg, we have at least a hand, probably an arm, and we're probably putting our shoulder into their side a little bit. So these are all things to really think about. If you want to be able to trim a horse, you really want to kind of hold them a little bit like this if they're really worried. And we build up. So it might not be that your horse is having trouble with something else. They might be having trouble with contact points. Something to think about. So we're working on that, and I thought that would make a terrific video for some people, especially Laura and Bear. If you're watching this, this would probably make a very good video for you. She has a young horse that she's working with, and to be able to do these kinds of things, really important. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next one.